Okay, so 3 basics. So now let's get to the more challenging ones. So not that they're challenging. Okay, so parallelogram. So finding the area of a parallelogram. So in a parallelogram, all we're going to do is it just kind of makes our quadrilateral go on a slant. To find the area of your parallelogram, you're going to take your base and multiply it by the height. Well, your base could be either your top or bottom, and your height's going to be the perpendicular distance from the top down to the bottom. You might want to put a note, because this will be there to trick you. This slanted side is not the height. So if there was a dimension on that slanted side, that is not the height. The height is the perpendicular distance directly from the top down to the bottom. Okay, so if we had this as our parallelogram, where this was 5, this was 4, and let's say this was 6. And I need it to find the area of that. I'm just going to do the base, which is 5, times the height, which is 4. The 6 is just there to mess you up. Don't get messed up by it. So 5 times 4 is 20, and then again we always put our units squared. Okay, so that would be how you find the area of a parallelogram. So then the only other parallelogram that we did not cover, so we did rectangle already, we did square already, so now we're going to look at a rhombus. Now since a rhombus is an actual parallelogram, it's just that all your sides are the same. You could technically still just do base times height if that's what you were given. But sometimes you're not given a base and a height, and sometimes you're given the diagonals. So let's go ahead and sketch in our diagonals. So we have this diagonal, which I'm going to call the longer one, diagonal 1. So that means diagonal, I'm not doing a great job, diagonal 1. And then this one going this way, I'm going to call diagonal 2. So if you're given the length of the diagonals, what you can do to find the area is you can take 1/2 the product of your two diagonals. So 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2, which is how your homework is going to be. So if we recreate our rhombus here, put it that way. And let's say that this length here is 5, and this length here is 6. Well, my long diagonal has a total length of 6 plus 6, so 12. My shorter diagonal has a length of 5 plus 5, so 10. So now when I go to find the area of that, I'm going to do 1/2 the length of, and it doesn't matter which diagonal you use first, so I'm going to use 12 times 10. Make sure you don't do 1/2 of 6 times 5, because 6 is not the whole entire diagonal. And remember, diagonals bisect each other in parallelograms. So 1/2 of 12 is 6, 6 times 10 is 60, or you could think 12 times 10 is 120, 1/2 of 120 is 60. Either of those work. Okay, So on your homework, you're going to have something like that where you have the diagonals in it. So you're going to have to figure out what the whole length of the diagonals are, multiply them by together, and take half. All right, 2 more. So we've got our rhombus, we've got our parallelogram. So now we're going to do our kite. So a kite is not a parallelogram, if you remember. We do not have opposite sides parallel. We do have consecutive sides congruent. That's what makes it a kite. But the beauty of our area formula for a kite is it is exactly the same as a rhombus, where we have diagonal 1 and diagonal 2. And then our area formula is just exactly the same. So the area is equal to 1/2 the length of diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So let's say my diagonal 1 here is equal to 10. And in diagonal 2 we have 2 and 2, which makes that 4. So now I would just do 1/2 of 10 times 4, which 10 times 4 is 40. Half of that is 20 units. Okay, so the only difference in a kite as opposed to a rhombus, in a rhombus the diagonals bisect each diagonal. In a kite, that diagonal 1, that longer diagonal, is not bisected in half. So you're going to have to know the whole entire length of that diagonal, or at least be given the top and then the bottom. Because it will not be 5 and 5. Because if it was 5 and 5, that would be a rhombus. So it could be something like 4 and 6, which would get you to 10. Okay? Feel free to throw questions out there if you need it.
So D2 would equal 4 then because of the two
Right.
2's?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shorter diagonal in a kite will be bisected, but the longer one will not. So you would have to be given that. Okay. All right, and then the last shape we have is a trapezoid. So I'll erase this side. So in a trapezoid, we have something that may look like this. So now in a trapezoid, you have 2 different bases. I'm going to name this one base 1, this one base 2. Again, those could be interchanged. And then your height is always, always, always the perpendicular distance from the top to the bottom. So to find the area of a trapezoid, and now this one's probably the most complicated formula, is you're going to take 1/2 the sum of your bases and multiply by the height. Again, that slanted side is not your height. Your height is going to be that perpendicular distance, just like I did on the parallelogram, so don't get confused by that. So if I were to say that base 1 was, let's make it 10, base 2 was 6, my height is 4. Then when I plug that in, I would be doing 10 plus 6 times 4 times 1/2. So when I do that out arithmetically, 10 plus 6 is 16. Half of 16 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32 units squared. Okay, So, triangle, rectangle, square, those should have been already in your brain somewhere, hopefully. Parallelogram, you probably already had that one too. Kite and rhombus, what's nice about those is they have exactly the same area formula, 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. And the only other one then would be the trapezoid, where you take 1/2 the sum of your bases and multiply it by the height. Okay, so I did record this